When looking for a value, one often doesn't find maximum performance. And when you want absolute performance, it's hard to find a real value. That is, unless you're shopping for tires where these two opposing criteria can sometimes be rolled together in the same product. To get an understanding of how well some of these value-priced max performance summer tires perform, the Tire Rack team tested a group of 4 out on the road and on our test track. First up, we're driving on the Dunlop SP Max TT. And from the first turn of the wheel, it's apparent that this tire delivers the most direct steering response of the group. The trade-off comes in ride quality that's just a bit firm in comparison, but still not too harsh for a max performance summer tire. Out on the track, the SP Max TT feels nimble and very responsive, and in the wet this tire has a clear traction advantage over the others and is able to drive around the track with relative ease. Next up, we're driving on the hand-cooked Ventus V12 Evo. This tire displays a small amount of lag in the initial steering response, as well as a moderate harshness when driving over the rougher sections of our route. Here on the track, this tire just doesn't have the ultimate grip or cornering traction of the other tires in the test. And in the wet, this tire is hampered by its relatively narrow peak in traction, making it somewhat more challenging to maximize this tire's performance. Now we're driving on the Kuhmo X2 Le Sport. Like the hand-cooked tire, the X2 Le Sport is a little slow to respond to driver inputs. Ride quality is adequate, but feels a little less refined than the Sumitomo and Dunlop tires in our test. Here on the track, the X2 Le Sport is able to lap nearly as quickly as the leaders, and in the wet this tire is relatively easy to control at its limit, which is somewhat below the Dunlop and Sumitomo tires. Now we're driving on the Sumitomo HTR Z3. Handling is nearly as responsive as the SP Max TT, with a relatively light but taut feel to the steering wheel. This tire does a surprisingly good job at softening the edges of sharp bumps and expansion joints, and the tread noise is minimal. On the track, the HTR Z3 delivers responsive handling, which helps it post the quickest lap time of the event. And in the wet, it has good initial steering response, but it doesn't have quite the same overall traction as the Dunlop tire. All 4 of the value-priced tires in our test deliver sporty handling appropriate for the max performance summer category, but not all of them are able to roll value and performance into one package. As we compare tires side by side, we find each tire has its own personality. It's not as easy as simply choosing between good and bad. So as you view our test results, it's important to focus on your priorities and what fits best with how, where, and what you drive. And be sure to go to TireRack.com for our complete test report and to learn more about the tires featured in this test. Research, buy, deliver, install.